Welcome everyone to Changing of the Hip Hop Guards. It is me, Uncle E. That's my partner, the journalist Sincere. Everybody that's tuned in, make sure you take a second and hit that subscribe button, the like button, leave us a comment, check out all of our dope interviews that we have. And joining us today is none other than DJ Itruth, writer, producer, DJ, dancer, man. Itruth, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us.
Yo, thank you for inviting me over, man. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt.
A lot of things going on, man. Music, video, content. That's the new world. That's what the world we live in right now.
I know.
Yeah,
It's like nonstop content. It's like if you're not making content, you're not doing anything these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So let's do us a favor, man. Let's take it back a little bit, man, into the life of Itruth. Coming up as a young teenager. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and what was kind of going on, around that time, growing up, teenage years.
Well, I have Dominican roots, and I'm born in Harlem and raised in Hell's Kitchen. Had the pleasure of going to school in Chelsea and meeting a lot of people that will influence me in a huge way, and that helped like mold me to who I am today. Going to IS-70, I met so many talented artists from all walks of life. That was like the melting pot right there. And growing up in Hell's Kitchen, boogieing, at that time in the 80s, boogieing was like, and breaking, of course, those two things were like heavy influences on us growing up, along with graffiti. Graffiti, which was my first love, that was just like watching the trains go by and wondering what is this mess on the train? What I want to be part of that. Back in those days, you didn't have much to like entertain you. So whatever was like big and graphic on the street, and when you left the house, or what was on TV, that was what was really having influence over you and what you heard on the radio.
Right.
Yeah. And so boogieing and graffiti, dance, that was just like part of it. And the music, I come from humble beginnings, so we just had a radio and that big brown stereo with the record player and the 8-track player, and and as it evolved, we got a cassette player. So as the music media evolved, we got into cassettes and stuff. So as that moved on, we went on to just enjoy and learn, and this thing called hip hop, I fell in love with it, over the radio, you know what I mean? So it was like, from then on, it's like history made,
Right. So you said graph was like is your first love. Tell us a little bit about that, as far as you seeing it, being amazed by what you was looking at, and then actually wanted to participate. How was that process? Were you self-taught? Did you have anybody helping you out, mentor and stuff like that?
I'll be honest with you, growing up in New York, man, I was kind of self-taught till I bumped into one of my really good friends, my first graffiti partner, Brayer TPT, who I met in IS-70. And he put me onto a lot of game, and from then on we went bombing, cutting class, and going down to the train yard, getting caught, and doing it all over again. Like, fuck it, we got caught, we going back tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah. Growing up, there's a lot of it was kind of difficult trying to get tutelage in graffiti, because a lot of the dudes, is a lot of bully culture. So a lot of the dudes that were older that we looked up to would call you toy because you were a beginner. So with that, with that came a lot of bullying, and it was very difficult to like maneuver and try to learn from the older guys, except when there was an exceptional one, which were like not too many that would like, show you a style. And, they're like, yo, come through, man. And, this is how you do this. And this is how you
Right.
do throwy. You should be holding your marker like this. If you want more drips, you put more ink. This is how you make a mop. Those kind of tricks I kind of learned from my peers from like Shed 37 and uh Brayer, and that right there, that was that was a lot of fun coming up with them, you know what I mean? And not to mention, going on missions with them and bombing with them. I met a lot of good people, like Erotic. I'm not sure if you know who Erotic is. He's the guy that started CM, and
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So CM is officially like a graffiti crew, and
Right. Right.
uh, I met Erotic at a train layup, the one tunnel on
Okay.
145th, and like, so when I met him that Saturday night, we went bombing together. We became, just cool. Then Monday came and he was standing in the yard at IS 70, and I was like, "Yo, what you doing here? Oh, you got to come and meet everybody I know."
Okay.
And then me and him got super tight. And then like a few months went by when we was bombing and stuff. Next thing you know, he's like, "Yo, I want to start a crew. I want to call this crew CM, Criminal Minded." And
Okay.
so when I was born, that was like that gave a lot of us identity back then, along with TPT.
Okay.
But more so CM, because it was like I was there for the inception. You know what I mean? It was crazy because everybody that was down with it, we were all toys. You know what I mean? Like Lord Sear, Niso, you name it, Dreads, NIW, all
Was
these guys.
Scotty down with that at the time?
That's who Erotic is. It's Gotti,
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
the man with the yellow hat.
Yeah,
Gotti.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly who I'm talking to.
Okay, okay.
Who I'm alluding to. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
Oh, that's
But I
cool.
wasn't sure because I remember it was either him or it was I had some there's another cat I had in mind, so I wasn't sure which one of the two. But word up, shout out to Cotty.
Yeah, Gotti's he's the guy, man. Like he started it, and he gave us an identity. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
When it was difficult to get your stripes back then. You know what I mean? So it was like, but look at us now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Now them big dudes are like, yo, CM, yeah, boy,
Right.
radio, records, TV, you name it. Graffiti,
Yeah.
all over. But yeah,
I,
man,
I don't mean to cut you. How did that evolve? Where did the constipated monkeys come from then?
well, that's that. Well, when I met Gotti, he took me to his block, 97th Street, which was across the street, directly across the street from Rocksteady Park.
Okay.
And in his building was like two buildings, long ass buildings, nice buildings over there. And in his building lived Curious George, a bunch of cats. And a bunch of like the core members of CM, and along with them, rest in peace, K.M.D, Robert Smith, one of our core members, K.M.D, who used to write Rhea back in the days. I did a piece for him on the train because his parents wouldn't let him out. His father happened to be Robert Smith, the owner of Zakia Records. If you're familiar with Zakia Records,
Okay.
Zakia Records put out Eric B. and Rakim,
Right.
the first single,
Mm-hmm.
and Cutmaster DC, Brooklyn's in the
Yep.
House.
Yep. Yep.
So, My Melody by Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim, and boom, 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 Eric B. for President. And I was lucky enough to get records from my
Straight
man
from there.
K-Nit. Yeah, rest in peace, K-Nit. But his pops was responsible for those.
Mm-hmm.
So the plot thickens, and yeah, man, we all gelled because we used to hang out in front of Rocksteady Park at this bench over there, which it's not there anymore. Drink 40s and stuff. But after a while, I got tired of hanging out there and drinking 40s, and I was just like, that's not my style. I gotta go and do something a little bit more progressive,
Right.
and more intuitive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I stopped hanging out for a while and started hanging out downtown and going to clubs and hanging out in the downtown scene and shit, going to clubs to dance and just mess with the girls and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because after a time, graffiti started fading off the trains. They started bringing in those nice silver trains on the 1 and 3 line, and it was like, oh, that's it. The one train was like the last of the Mohicans. So yeah, after that faded, it was like clubs and going out, what I mean, partying and shit.
Can you give us a timeline of the transition from graph to starting to hit the downtown scene?
I want to say from 88 to like 90. 88. The graph scene started going down as far as it being on trains and it prevailing the way it was. But soon as like 90 came around, it was totally out. Out of 89, it was already like nobody, you didn't see any graph on the trains around 89. So 88, it was definitely on the decline. And by the time 90 came around, I wasn't even really messing around trying to go bombing or anything like that. It was just like, whatever, I'm gonna figure it out and have fun right now. I like dancing and go to the clubs with my peoples from my neighborhood, because I was going uptown to hang out a lot.
Right.
Can you talk a bit about the spots that you used to frequent?
Oh yeah. Well, the spots were the usual suspects. The first one I want to say is Heartthrob, formerly the Funhouse. And Heartthrob, we got in there early. Like I can remember the first time I went in there, some dude on 14th Street and like 8th Avenue handed me a flyer, and we looked at it. I was with a few friends, and we were like, "Yo, we're going." And we were so young. It was crazy. But when we got there, it was pretty cool, but it was no hip hop really being played. It was just like Little Louis Vega that that does house music now.
Right.
He was playing freestyle back then.
Okay.
So it was a club. It was my first experience. I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm staying to the end. Back then, we would stay to the end. The last song.
Right.
Go in early and leave late. And leave at the last song. But saw some pretty good like freestyle groups there. Who was one of the freestyle groups? Diamond Girl.
Yeah. Damn, I can't even remember. I mean, you had what? You had like TKA. You had
TKA. TKA performed there.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank now. Lisette Melendez.
Was that probably so? What's she sing?
I can't remember, bro.
Judy Torres. She performed there. So that whole slew of freestyle artists that you would hear in like what they used to call Latin hip hop. That's what they used to call it.
Right. Yo, before I forget, Truth, I don't know. Are you familiar with UFO Thief?
UFO Thief? No.
When you get a chance, look him up on Instagram. He's a hip hop artist.
Okay.
Younger cat, but he's nice.
Okay.
His father is the main dude from TKA.
Oh, word? K. Yeah.
K7. That's his pops. But UFO Thief, man, he's dope.
Oh, really? Okay.
He actually was messing around with Fat Joe a little bit. But just check him out. I just wanted to throw it out there since you mentioned talking about TKA.
Yeah, but some of the other clubs after that was Studio 54. Oh man, I got a picture of me in Studio 54 too, man. Oh man, I gotta find that joint. Me and my man Talim's cousin. So before I used to hang out with Talim, I used to hang out. His cousin was my Ace Boon Coon. That was my partner, and you know,
Yeah,
Studio.
Talim's cousin was the one that plugged with what's his name? The Money Boys players, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Oh yeah, Black. Um. So yeah. Minnesota used to come to Mike's house because Minnesota's cousin Andre. Oh, check it out. Boom. You see the 54 on the background right here.
Oh man, look at this. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, baby. Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, Studio 54, Red Zone, Mars,
Mars was tough.
Limelight. Limelight was lit. The Tunnel, of course.
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro. That was a little later.
Yeah.
Man, I love Kilimanjaro. That place, woo, that was a dope ass club. That system was crazy.
So what point do you start taking dance serious?
We were like doing little routines in the club, and we got discovered by this guy called Tyrone Proctor. Tyrone Proctor is Tyrone Proctor was a choreographer that was he was discovered on Soul Train, and some scouts went out to Soul Train and scouted him to do to scout out dancers for a dance TV show in New York called The Latin Connection.
Okay.
And now the Latin Connection, on that show, they did dance featurettes. And when we were dancing, we were doing a bunch of stuff that we were practicing over at this our local PAL. They had like a little room there, weight room, but they had a little dance floor with mirrors, and we would just take advantage and be like, "Yo, let's go over there and practice," and see if we could get some a routine going, because we were doing stuff, but then we were influenced by IOU dancers, which we saw on Video Music Box. When Finessing Sequences Soul Sister record came out, and that video
Yeah.
that was a big influence on us. There was a few other videos too. And Roseland is another club that was like around the corner from 54. And Roseland, there I met these cats from Queens called the Skittles Dancers. And those guys, they was just dope. Like one kid named in particular, his name was Blowout, and Blowout was sensational. He was ill dancer, like he just was like very unorthodox with the dance. And I would chill with them, go out to Queens, and while chilling with them I met Peekaboo. I'm not sure if you know who Peekaboo is. He danced for Kwame. Yeah. So when I met Peekaboo, we just chilled and try to get it on, bust a couple of skills, whatever, and like I guess practice went on occasion when I went to Queens or to Brooklyn and met up with certain cats, right? And from there we would just I would come back, and from what I learned at those ciphers, I would come back to Manhattan and show my peoples, Talim and all the other guys, my man Tislam, my man Rob, rest in peace. And I'd share the knowledge and be like, yo, this is what it is, like we let's do these moves, put them in a routine, do 40s, da 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 da, and yeah, you know, applied them on the dance floor when we went to the club. And from there, you know, those are from there, you know, while dancing in Studio 54, Tyrone Proctor saw us and asked us to come to an audition for that show, The Latin Connection, which I have the video of. And yeah, we did a featurette. The IOU dancers, we met them there. We met Voodoo Ray there as well. You know, like rest in peace, Voodoo Ray.
Okay.
That's where we met Voodoo Ray at that show, and they used to film the show at Studio 54.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, you know, like I would like to share that kind of stuff, but you know, like you know how these hawks are right now. You know, I'm working on a film so that you know it can be presented properly, and you know, you can gouge those guys can gouge it and you know rip it from the movie when it's done. But you know,
right. Yeah, but I hope you do put something out, man, because that's some dope footage and archives that you know what I mean. I'm sure a lot would like to see.
I mean, if you're familiar with my first YouTube channel, DJ Itruth, if you're familiar with it, you know I put up some gems, and it's been like 10 years ago. I put up the Kid and Play performing in the studio. I put up JVC Force performing in the studio.
Nice.
I put up I posted Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd performing Do the James in the studio. And these are all joints I was getting like recorded. You know, I gotta give a shout out to my cousin Michael, because I used to tell him, yo, there's this show, I don't get it downtown, but they play it uptown on your cable station. And I would tell him, yo, on Saturday nights, record the show for me. He would record shows for me and gave me the tape, and I was like, yes, you know. But you know, I'm you know, they you know, like the Kid and Play one that I posted, they use footage of that one in their documentary.
Okay, the dance one, the dance documentary that they came out with recently.
No, they're unsung documentary.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't know the unsung. I'm not sure if you saw it, but yeah, they use a few of those on there.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, I learned from sharing those that you know sometimes you can't just my intentions were to share, you know, but then cats started taking them and then muting the sound and putting the sound, putting the record on, and I was like, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose is like so that you can hear all that, you know, that VHS, like you know, but you know, whatever, you know. And it is what it is, you know.
Now, when you guys were going to the clubs and doing the routines and stuff that you know were practicing and then applying when you were going out, were you coming across you know situations where you know other crews, Mob Top or whoever were there? Like, were there any type of battles or I'm better than you, or was everything cool? How did that go?
You know, it was we met the polo dancers, battling them in Studio 54. We met Jiggy battling them in Mars, but I had already known Prancer because he went to junior high school with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You told me, you're the one that told me that.
Yeah. And you know who else went to junior high school with us? I don't know if you know Jamel Loose Joint. Jamel was in Beach Street when we was in junior high school. He was in the audition part with the other little kid.
Yeah. Him, I remember.
Go back to Beach Street and watch the auditions.
I remember him because he was in a commercial too. He was in the
he was like in a Pepsi commercial.
It was Pepsi or a Hershey bar, something.
Yeah.
Going up the steps.
Yeah.
And I remember him because he was in the talent show at I-72.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he killed that. He killed the talent show, man. But him,
Yeah.
I remember. Prance is the one that I was just like, damn. After you told me, I placed the
Yeah.
face and was like,
Yeah. Prancer wasn't really dancing back then. I
no,
didn't.
no. I just remember
He
the
was,
face after you told me. I was like, oh shit, okay, I do remember
yeah.
who he
Yeah.
is.
He was more playing ball. I would
Mm-hmm.
see him playing ball most of the time with like Chris and a couple of the other cats. But yeah, Mop Top. I met a lot of them. We met a lot of dancers after that show. We started going to for well, the reason really was that Talim had this flat top that was like, yo,
Yeah,
this shit was crazy. Let me show y'all a picture.
yeah.
Yo, this dude's his flat top was redonkulous. At first it was like that, and then one day he calls me out my window because he used to live in Jersey and he'd take the bus, and I live right next to Port Authority, so he'd come right to my house right afterwards. So I hear him calling me, "Yo, Cash," out the window, "Yo, Cash, yo." I look out, yo, this shit is looking like a foot long. I was like, ah! Yo, because of Talim, we got called to a lot of videos. And that's
Okay,
where we
okay.
met a lot more dancers at the video shoots.
So he stood out. He had like a certain
Yeah,
look to
yeah.
him. Got
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah,
Kind of like your boy, Power Malu with the hair
yeah,
all
with the
out.
fro. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That same kind of effect. And it's all good because like, dude, yo, we got in a lot of videos, boy. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
What were
Talim
some,
had that hair,
what
and
were
we
some of the videos?
um Talim got a playlist of them, and he keeps keeping it, the cards on his chest. I'm like, bro, I need that playlist. But yeah, hold on, I got one of these. Oh, check this out.
Oh, I saw him post that one. I think. Yeah. Yo, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, and then and to make it even
Yo,
crazier,
what were you guys like? How old? 17?
there, nah, he was like 14, 15,
Even
bro.
younger, right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he,
crazy.
he's like 3 or 4 years younger than me.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, he man, that hair was crazy. Then he put polka dots in it.
Yeah.
That right there, when we pulled up to a club, they were like, "Oh, we want him." Because
Yeah.
back in them days, a lot of the clubs, especially Mars, they would pick you by pointing you in. Limelight was like that too, and the Tunnel as
Mhm.
well. They would pick you from, and yo, they would leave you out there standing for an hour. Like it was treacherous, man. It wasn't even. It was. I don't even know what to say about that because it was like, come on, bro. Like,
So, which was one of your most memorable battles that you had? You remember like any ones that stood out the most to you, or like who it was with?
um,
And were
that,
these like real like battles? Like yo, y'all suck. Like y'all ain't nothing. Or was this just kind of like yo, like we kind of know who each other? And,
um, I went to some club over here on 43rd Street, and I was by myself, and I battled the kid from that danced for Super Lover C and Casanova Rudd.
yeah.
I battled him, and at that time, whatever, I stole a move from Scoob. And he was like, "Yo, you did the Scoop, yo, hey, man, that's Scoop Lover, that's Scoop Lover." I was like, "So what?" Deal. I can look back and laugh at that now. But I think that battle might have been a tie. Jiggy, man, that we used to go head on with them like every weekend, bro.
Yeah.
Jiggy, yeah, steel sharp and steel for real, for real.
Now, were you guys S.O.S yet or not yet?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
We were S.O.S.
Okay.
Yeah, we were S.O.S from like I want to say from like 90. Yeah, from 90 on. And what's crazy is that in when we did that dance featurette in the Latin Connection, they called us the new generation.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't like our name. They didn't like our names, S.O.S dancers. They just like they just went ahead and called us whatever they wanted us to. So IOU, the IOU dancers got their names on the IOU dancers.
Right, right.
But yeah, man, it was trying times though. I mean, when I went out to dance, I wasn't really going out to battle. That wasn't my thing. My thing was to share energy. You know what I mean? It wasn't about battling for me. It was more about sharing energy and being in the cipher, having fun. All that battling shit, I'd be laughing at cats. I'd be like, "Psst, I'm the one leaving with the joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you mad? Like,
What
you
would
know?
you say? What would you say the first big break was for SOS?
I would say it's definitely that Latin Connection. I went to Norman Thomas High School, and there was a lot of haters in there, bro. Like guys walking around, like giving you that stone face and you walking in the hallway.
Right.
Yo, when that show aired on Saturday night, when I went to school that Monday, yo, he was on TV. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that shit aired. Yeah, what's crazy is that dudes were like that were mean to me or ignoring me, wanted to be my friend, and I was like, yeah, we could be friends. It's cool, you know. But then like it happened like almost consecutively because I went to high school with Sadat X's cousin, and they were doing a video for Feel So Good. And if you know about mixtapes back in the days, Norman Thomas was mentioned a lot on mixtapes because of the population of girls they were known for having a lot of pretty girls at that school. So it almost happened like right after, like I want to say like a year or two right after. So my homegirl Laverne, shout out to her. She was like, "Yo, my cousin's got a rap group and they're doing a music video." And at the time, she knew I was, dibbling and dabbling in videos, dancing as a backup dancer, backup behind the backup. Trying to get FaceTime. I don't know. Back then, we wanted to get fame.
Yeah,
That was another way to getting like fame, I guess. And FaceTime on the camera next to the rapper or dancing for the rapper or whatever, And so I had told them, look, I don't. I asked her, how many rappers are in the group? She was like 3, and me and so and so's dancing for them. So it was 3 girls, and 3 guys. And I was like, I'll help y'all with the routine, but I don't think I fit going in and dancing while it's y'all 3 already there and it's 3 dudes. I feel like that's like, that's not a good fit.
right.
So I helped them, gave them a couple of moves, and they went and they killed it. They were in the video, they killed it, and then they came back. They were like, "Yo, my cousin still wants to meet you. Come through. Yeah, he's gonna be in the Bronx at my other cousin's house. You should come through." So I went to the Bronx. Yo, this to me Sadat X. He was Derek X back in them days.
Right.
Before he changed his name.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to his cousin's house, and we there getting drunk, smoking weed, doing the regular, 40 in a blunt. That was the regular thing back then. Oh, my bad.
No, don't worry. That's cool.
We in Midtown.
That's it. Yeah. Don't worry, man.
Yeah, that adds flavor to the soundtrack.
Exactly.
So, I get there, right? And we get there like around 8, and yo, like 3 hours go by and this dude ain't show up. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Where's this dude at, bro? Like, I'm like, yo, what's going on? When is this dude showing up? Oh, he's coming. Don't worry about it. He always comes here at that time. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm about to leave, right? And guess who pops in the door, right? He pops in the door. He's like, yeah, what's up, man? And then he bounces. I was like, yo, for real? We didn't even build on nothing, right? We didn't talk or nothing, right? And it's crazy because I forget how I went back though. I went back to the cousin's house in the Bronx, and he came back, and this time he took 2 hours. So he was always coming in
late dude.
Yeah, late. Then we exchanged numbers, we exchanged math, and we set up a meeting. And he brought Lord Jamal down to our rehearsal space. I told him, yo, we rehearse at this spot, the PAL on 52nd between 10th and 11th, which is still there. And shout out to PAL for, you know, looking out for all those years and letting us use that space for rehearsal. Right. So, matter of fact, they had given me demos of the album. They had given me the rough songs, right? And before that meeting, when we met Jamal, Sadat gave me All for One, Slow Down. He gave me like 5 or 6 songs. And yo, we listened to those shits. Imagine having like half of that album like before the whole world, bro. Like, yo, it was crazy because that album.
I had the opportunity of having it before it came out too, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know from where. I know from
yeah. I had a brown cassette, you know what I mean, that had like Step to the Rear and all that, and it had
really?
It had Step to the Rear. It had damn, what was Sadat's
Dance to My Ministry?
No, that's Lord Jamal.
That's Lord Jamal's Dance to My Ministry.
The one Sadat has, you know, by himself on there.
X Minor. Concerto and X Minor.
Concerto and X Minor had that. Yo, I fell in love with it automatically, bro.
Yeah. It was like that. Like, see how yo, it was like the first listen was like, yo, bring that back. Yo, we knew, it was so crazy, right? That I learned all their rhymes to that album in like almost a month, right? And when we went to go practice at some other spot with some of our boys uptown, we went to Columbia University because we knew somebody there that had a space there that we could. But at that time, we had like extended family members from other high schools that from like Martin Luther King, where Talim went. At that time, we had more members that were like extended family. You know, it was S.O.S, but it was just it grew. You know what I mean? We had like more members, and these guys were all from the Heights, from Dykeman, you know, and so we started practicing uptown, and we ran into some guys that rap, and they wanted to battle, and I kicked Pooba's rhyme for Slow Down, bro. What was that for? Before it came out, oh, dog, killed them, bro. Won that battle, bro.
You ever told Puma you want to battle with him?
Nah. If he ever hears this, then he'll know that. You know now. But you know, we had the advance. You know, like we had the advanced copies, and it was only right to know the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it was like, yo, who's the only other really ill groups that I knew, like all of their lyrics was like De La, Tribe, and Jungle Brothers. Like, those dudes, and now Brand Nubian, right? Mm-hmm. So some time went by, Lord Jamal, I set up a meeting to meet Lord Jamal and Sadat X. They drove down from New Road, came to PAL, and we played Slow Down and we showed them the routine we did for Slow Down. Them niggas was like, yeah, that's just crazy. Yo, so we want to do this song. And like, so they picked out the songs that we should really be working on. Okay. And we wound up doing routines for like 4 songs, and for like the next year, that's what we did, like All for One, Slow Down, of course, Step to the Rear. And sometimes they would do like they'd throw a screwball in there, but what they didn't understand was like dancing to a whole 3.5 minutes. That was like a nonstop. That was like a half of a full court game.
Yeah.
Dancing nonstop for 3 minutes without no breaks in between. They just wanted us to go back to back to back. Like, yo, y'all niggas over here kicking rhymes and not moving. Yeah, be moving like ha. That. We were very active. So it was like. It was crazy, but we take it with a grain of sand and built with it, and kept it moving.
What was some of your favorite shows with the group?
Oh man, that Kilimanjaro show was that. Woo, I was gonna segue right into
that. Was crazy. That was crazy.
That Kilimanjaro show was one of my favorites for because that's the one that made me the most popular. And at that time, that's what we wanted, was fame. And I that was like the pinnacle, so it was like, yo, motherfuckers can't say shit now. I'm sorry, can I curse?
It's all right. It's all right.
All right, so
you're good.
But yeah, cats can't say anything now. It's a rap, and it was on Video Music Box, played consistently for years, and even up till now. They used a clip of it. I'm in a clip of the Video Music Box what do you call it, documentary. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I was gonna once upon a time I was gonna post that footage, but somebody else beat me to it, and I was like, you know what? It's all good, All that footage belongs to Ralph anyway,
Yeah.
Here on the Arsenio Hall show as well.
We did Arsenio Hall as well. We did Party Machine as well, but we did Arsenio Hall only with Pooh Bah when the group broke up. And if I could elaborate on that a little, like when they did their unsung, they didn't speak about that, and I was like, that's kind of whack, because there was, how every documentary you watch, they have that point of the documentary where it goes down and how they come back up. Right. And that dip when they divided, it was very severe. It affected us all, and it was messed up because we were in the middle. We were like the kids in a relationship, you feel me? And the parents were Lord Jamal and Grand Pooh Bah. And when we were with Pooh Bah, we get, treated very well. But when we were with X and Jamal, we weren't getting paid as well. We weren't being treated as well, and I ain't afraid to say it because they know the truth. I don't care what anybody says. But even X went on what do you call it, on MTV and spit a freestyle. I was like, that's why I cut off the dances. And I was like, oh, yo, that shit rang bells throughout the whole New York. Like, yo, you heard what he said? He cut off the dances. Oh, and then when that Punks Jump Up drop, right before that drop, I had a fight with Lord Jamal's brother in a club.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's crazy because we was tight. We was fam. You know what I mean? But when that split happened, his brother Wise, he wasn't there. Like And it was basically, you know, we were on a show on the road. We were like in the South somewhere in like North Carolina or something, and they had a meeting in the hotel room, and Jamal's like, yo, y'all already know this brother's not gonna be coming along with us for the rest of the ride. What y'all want to do? Y'all gonna rock with us or y'all gonna rock with him? And you know, according to what we felt at the time, it was like, yo, this is a little, you know, this was a little, you know, touchy, because it was like it wasn't up to us. We were there because of Lord Jamal and X,
It's
you know,
right,
but
right, right.
what took a liking to us. So we was like, yo, we, you know, all right, cool, you know, kind of like couldn't really answer them right there because that shit was like the tension was thick in that room. And it was like, yo, I guess we're just gonna be giving you an answer in a little bit. We got to think about that, you know. That turned out to be a better move to go on with Pooh Bah, because he has space, you know what I mean? And you know, it was easier to communicate with him too, you know, and it wasn't a lot of tension, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of tension with Lord Jamal at times. And you know, because of me as well, because I did graffiti, and before we were supposed to go out on the road, I went out to do a show in do some pieces in Cali with one of my white friends, one of my white graffiti, my man John Deuce. Big shout out to him. When I got back, Lord Jamal was like, "Yo, you can't perform at Apollo." I was like, "Why?" Oh, because you went out to Cali with so and so. And I was like, what the hell's that got to do with anything?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, so you know, it was, you know, just because of that, things like that made it easier to go and get on board with Pooh Bah, you know, because it wasn't none of that, you know, and then fast forward to now, you know, guess who's on Vlad TV? Who's their favorite white boy? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right.
I ain't talking shit about nobody. These are facts. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
These are facts. You know,
Right,
and
right.
I it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but I did learn a lot from Lord Jamal, and I learned a lot from Pooh Bah, and I learned a lot from Sadat X as well. You know, and Alamo as well. You know how to conduct yourself and how to not to conduct yourself. You know, on the road as an artist in the office, how to get to meetings on time, you know.
Yeah. Right, 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 right. How long would so you guys go with Pooh Bah? How long did that last?
That lasted from the first album until like the first album was like what 93 to 94.
Something, yeah,
Lasted
something
like
like
about a year, you know,
that.
because I told him, you know, by that time I had already been introduced in the studio to like how to make beats and stuff. And I was like, yo, um, I want to move on and do production. I want to do music production. I don't want to be dancing no more, you know. And I think, you know, the the landscape for hip hop had already been changing, so it already morphed. It started going underground more harder.
Hmm.
So you know, you had DOS Effects, and then um EPMD, and then they had the Hit Squad, Redman, Cypress Hill. You know, all this hard shit was coming out, and it was like, oh, none of them dudes had dancers. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
it only made
Uh,
sense. It
yeah,
only
yeah.
made sense to, you know, go with the flow. And I
Right.
was like, you know, I'm around. I'll be around for you, and you know, whatever you need from me, I'm there for you. But you know, I'm not gonna be doing that because you know that the times don't call for that, you know, any longer. And
Mhm.
you know, I had to move. I had to change and pivot. You know, and it was something else, man. You know, because you know when you're in a so-called like celebrity spotlight kind of, because I was kind of like, we were ghetto celeb, you know what I'm saying? But still, we felt like we had accomplished a few things, been on TV. When you come back to society, yo, that's a chip on your shoulder. Like, yo, that shit hurts your ego to try to get back in the workforce. Yo, that shit was crazy. Like, it hurt me because I was like, nah, I was on Arsenio. I was just on this.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on that. Now I gotta go back to what? To work? I was, oh man. Yeah, that hurt me, but
So how did you cope with that? How did you deal getting through it?
Eventually, I had met a chick, and she helped me get my act together, and I just got a stock job at Stearns out in Queens, and I met a bunch of good people there, and I started producing a bunch of cats from Queens,
Okay.
But yeah.
How did you get into production?
Oh, well, while while dealing with Brand Nubian, they would always from time to time give us a peep of the studio, and we get glimpses of this and that. And Puba actually took us to the studio. We went to a calliope with him where we met D. Dot Angeletti from Bad Boy, and he was a producer and MC as well. That at that time he wanted to do a song with Puba, knowing how great he was gonna be, because he knew how great Puba was already. This was before Puba's solo album came out. So I got to sit in on a session with them. I got to sit in on a session with Lord Jamar and Sadat for the remix of Concerto in X Minor. We're actually in the background. We did the ad libs for that.
Okay.
S.O.S did the ad libs for that record on the remix of Concerto
remix?
X Minor. Yeah. So we sat in on that. We sat in on Over Like a Fat Rat that Puba did for that. It was for a soundtrack. So at there, I would see him make the beat on the MPC, and from there, he what do you call it? He started doing more solo stuff for the album, and he started recording at Hit Factory. And there were nights that I would go to the studio, he wouldn't be there, and I'd just be chilling there, and there'd be a SP1200, there'd be the engineer, and we just chill. And by the time at that time I didn't know how to use an SP1200, but by the time he would get in there, he'd start making moves and making the beat on. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy for real. And he was like, that dude did it all. He sung, he rapped, he produced. It was crazy, like it was nuts. Now the album, I don't think it's like as good as One for All. It could have been better because he could have had some better producers on that first album.
Right.
That second album though made up for it. That's his second album, his second solo album, 2000. That shit made up for it. Because by that time, I had already been playing demos of Money Boss players like Minnesota stuff to him. And I was like, yo, this is my man. And yo, he's dope, I forget how I think he might have met X with Puba. But Minnesota would, he taught me how to use an ASR 10. I would go to his little studio, and at the time, I don't know if y'all noticed, but he's really tight with Lord Tariq and Peter Guns.
Right.
And those two guys, I met them through Minnesota. Minnesota, I in turn introduced Minnesota to some of my peoples downtown. My man Ali Asha, And at that time, he met Mos Def, before Mos Def, who we know today. Before Mos Def had a deal, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. So, you know, I took him downtown because he was always hanging out uptown, and I'm like, yo, why don't you come downtown with me? I'm going to do some shit and hang out with some of my peoples from Brooklyn. And so Minnesota came through. He bought some beats. Cats went crazy when he played some joints. You know, at that time we had this thing called The Noise, which basically we was sampling crazy Moog records and making beats out of them. And whoever made the illest joint, neck breaking joint, it was, you know, that was the shit right there. That was some shit that me and him was going head to head on, like, yo, check this noisy joint out.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but I got a chance to play some of those noisy joints for your boy Doom. Oh well. Yeah, Doom lived in my hood for like a hot minute. He lived on 48th Street and 9th Avenue. I bumped into him. I got a picture though I want to show you because I know you from Long Island and you would appreciate this though. Yeah, check your man out right here.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's the first.
Let me see.
That's
Doom at the bottom.
Yeah, that's Doom at the bottom.
I think that's Onyx right there.
That's Quest right here.
Quest. Yeah. Oh shit.
Onyx is behind Quest.
Is that sub in the middle back there?
Yep.
All the way in the back?
Yep, that's sub.
Yo, you gotta
Charlie
send me
Brown,
that picture, man.
Oh yeah, man. You know
that's... I mean, not the picture, but I'm this dude with all these archives, man.
Yeah, man. You know, like, nah, man. Ain't none of these.
I just got this painting done for Sub Rock.
A word
right here.
You want to see something else though? You want to see an ill joint?
Hold on. Yo, that's an ill pictures, man.
I'm gonna show you a real ill joint right now. Sub was the on our first tour with Brand Nubian. Pooh didn't come on that tour. Nah, because he thought that he wouldn't say this, but I think he knew that he was bigger than what they offered us, right? And they didn't even offer him, not me, because I wasn't the artist at the helm right there. They didn't give him a tour bus. You know, they didn't give Brand Nubian a tour bus, and he felt like they deserved a tour bus. This is basically, look, this is the bus that we was on. Look, we was on this bus, right? And this is how cats were sleeping on the bus.
Oh wow!
You know who that is?
I'm trying to. Talib?
That's Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay.
That's Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Okay.
So they stuck us on a Greyhound. I forgot this dude's name. He's from he's down with K.M.D. You know this cat? He was on the bus too.
I can't really make out the face. It might have been D Black, maybe.
Well, anyway, right?
He was like the road manager.
They stuck. Oh, this guy. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, what's his name? This guy right here.
It might have been D Black.
Nah, that's this guy. That's That's K.M.D's road manager.
Yeah, damn, I kind of see the face. I can't.
Nah. Well, you know,
I'll find out. I'll find out. I'll let you know his name.
But yeah, man. They stuck us on a Greyhound bus. Brand Nubian, K.M.D, and Leaders of the
New School, right.
On a Greyhound, dog. And there's this one Puerto Rican cat that was down with K.M.D that came with them, right? And he would, you know, where you put your bags up on top where you sit.
Diego.
He would sleep in that. He was that skinny. He was sleeping there.
He probably had like a little flat up top.
Yo, we were like, yo, you can fit in there.
Yeah. That's probably Diego.
Yo,
Yo,
K.M.D had the ill crew, son. They had a funny crew, son. We
them
had good
niggas.
times. We had
I
because
don't,
they was around our age, so it was like, oh
yeah,
shit, we around some young niggas. That's what's up. Or
yeah.
people our age, you know. It was
Yo,
fun.
how was that tour? You know, with all of you guys at that time coming up. You know, basically around the same time.
Oh, that was amazing. That was our first West Coast and East Coast tour. Yo, it was amazing. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, yo, you know what's crazy is that I brought a boombox that I borrowed from my man Latif, Last Descendants of Funk. Big up and big shout to him because he used to make loops on this. He used to make tape loops from the boombox.
Right.
And he was ill with it. And I told him, yo, we're going on tour for like a week. You can lend me the box. And he lent it to me, bro. Yo, I was on, yo, so on one occasion, Doom asked me, yo, can I borrow the box? I want to make a copy of this tape. I was like, nah, B, not only if I can have a copy too. He's like, I got you. And you know what it was?
What?
It was Stone is the Way of the Walk before it was all the Cypress shit before it came out. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I still got all those cassettes from that tour. And yeah. I mean, but it's stuff that you probably already heard. You know what was on there? That was
really... but it's the fact that it's the actual cassette that you have from then. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta talk to Sincere, man. He's a collector.
Yeah, so that tour on that radio, bro, that because I had that radio, I got my hands on the demo version that Dave from De La Soul did for Roadrunner for Chi Ali. Y'all ever heard that? That shit is fire.
Sure.
The Beat Nuts produced that shit.
Right.
Sick.
Huh.
They used the same sample as Heavy D before Heavy D. That if you could see what I can see, it's the same sample, but they flipped it a little different. It was a little faster.
Huh.
And the way Dave rhymed on it, I mean, yo, Dave is top 5 for me. You know, Dave is like ill with the lyrics, ill, you know, like super ill, like another planet. Like, how do you channel that? You know, I was like, wow. When I heard and then when I heard Chi Ali do it, I was like, I'm never listening to that version again. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's dope, man. That definitely sounds like good memories, man, and good times. Just what did you feel? So you know you're on tour with all of them. How did you feel when you saw, like, for example, Busta Rhymes, you know, splits and he takes off, Doom, you know, all of that happens, but then he comes back, you know, MF Doom. Like, you know, what kind of thoughts are you thinking, man, seeing all of that?
Well, you know, on the tour, you know, I could immediately tell how Chris Lighty was he was the tour manager. And he took a liking to Busta Rhymes very early. And I could see that. A lot of us could see that. Yo, check this.
I can't see the face.
That's a young Busta right there.
That's Bust? Get out of here.
Yeah. You know, when I'm still working on the film, you know, it's
yo, put it out, man. Put it out.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the stills in there. So you know, it's my man. Oh, here you go. Here you go, the one I wanted to show you. This is crazy right here.
Yo, that Sub cutting hair?
He was our barber on the tour. That's Sub Rock giving a haircut to Chris Lighty.
Lighty, yeah. Yo.
It's great.
Yo, dude, man, you got it. Yo.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I'm glad I could share that with y'all on there, but I wouldn't post. That's why I don't post a lot of my pictures on IG, because you know then I already seen what they did with the videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I post the pictures. Cats are just gonna, you know, divulge my
It's a
shit.
dope picture, man. Yo, that sub cutting Lighty's hair is man. That's
So I got more. I got
huh?
more. I got some with Onyx. I got a few more.
Yo,
Because I was the only one with a camera on that tour. Well, you know what? You know who said that? Onyx had the nerve to say he was the photographer on that tour, and I was like, really? I bumped into him at one of Talim's events like a year ago,
yeah.
out in what do you call it, in Rockaway,
Okay.
on the pier, and Onyx came through with Quest, and Onyx had the nerve to say he was. I was like, no, you not, bro. I'm the one with the real photos, bro. You not the guy with them. I was the one, bro. Because the ones I got, you be like, oh,
Yeah, that you just blew my mind with that. I can't forgetting that we even doing like an interview right now, man. That's a gem right there, man. Hold on tight to that for me, bro.
yeah. Oh, I got the negative too. That picture, it got ripped. I think some water might have got on it, but you know,
that's dope.
You know,
that's dope.
But you know, back to that tour, man. You know, like, yo, it was crazy because yo, we had such a good time. We laughed super hard. Yo, Alamo, yo, he had jokes on Charlie Brown and Dinko D, bro. Dinko D had like this suitcase that looked like it was straight out of like a cartoon. It was like, yo, that shit was mad old.
Wait, you're not talking about the brown one. You're talking about not the K.M.D suitcase.
No, Dinko D had an even older one. Like, yeah, it was crazy. We were yeah, that was a good time, bro. That was a really good time. And when we got to the West Coast, we wound up. There was a time where right before the show, these dudes, K.M.D and Leaders hooked up with S.O.S Mischief, and for some reason they didn't want us to go with them, because I think they wanted us to stay close by because they could keep an eye on us. And we didn't mean S.O.S Mischief. I was like, yo, to this day, I haven't met S.O.S Mischief. I always wanted to meet them, dude.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
But,
is that tour the same? Did you guys come across the Digital Underground at that? Was that tour? You know, when Pac was like still kind of like dancing.
Yeah. No, actually, that was another date. That was another date, because Talim is in some of that footage where we was
coming down the stairs.
Yeah, Talim.
Right.
No, that was another date. That was like a brand Nubian date where it was just us being booked, and we were doing a show. I think it was Digital Underground, Big Daddy Kane. At that time, Big Daddy Kane, man, bro, he was already going into the Prince of Darkness and all that. Yo, this dude had like see-through. I bumped into Jay-Z and I told Jay-Z this story, and he knew I wasn't bullshitting because he was at that show. So at this time, Big Daddy Kane would wear like these see-through purple pants with a white thong underneath, so you could see clearly. Right, yo, it was crazy when I seen Jay, and at that time Jay was recording Watch the Throne downtown with Kanye. I bumped into him. I was down there for some reason, and I seen him in the truck in a Bentley and shit. And I told him that same story. He was laughing. Yo, but yeah, man, you know, it was a good time, man. That tour, you know, like I wish, you know, oh man, I think we would have got a lot more out of it if we had, like, you know, the production tools that we have today. You know, we would have and been able. Somebody would have brought like a mic, an interface, and a drum machine. It would have been incredible. Yeah, it would have been incredible.
Dope. We talked a little bit about your production earlier on. Can you talk about your first placement and some of the other placements throughout the years?
Oh, sure. So my first placement was with John Forte on
Poli Sci Baby.
no on this independent. Most of my records have been independent. And the one I did with John Forte is on the Money Boss record, the first Money Boss record. And then I did another record with this brother from Queens named Misery. That's an indie. And you know, like all these records, they're like only like 500 made, so they're very sought out too. They're like expensive too. Like the Misery record, I think maybe 300 were made. The Money Boss record, maybe 500 were made. That at one time that was done. That was going for like $1,200 back. Once upon a time, it was going for like 12. Now it probably does like 100, 150, but still, you know, that's
Oh, good, yeah.
You know, you could pay a phone bill with that,
hell yeah.
depending on how many phones you got. I got a release that I did with Gemini like about 2-3 years ago. I did a single with him, 2 songs, and I also did a music video with him called Emergency, where I shot and edited the video and produced the record. I say I co-produced it because he added some other drums to the record. So shout outs to Gemini, the gifted one. Who else can I say? M1.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
I done some work with M1. I did one joint with M1 from Dead Prez. There's some independent that wound up on I put it out myself on Bandcamp because it was just sitting around and collecting dust. So it went on my man Choo Choo's album. Choo Choo met him on the street and they started building. He brought him back to the studio one day. I was like, oh shit, word? Oh, M1, let's go. What's crazy is that after that song, we started doing mad shows with them. Like with my first rap act called Brainiac Dum Dums. Also, I got my first rap act, Brainiac Dum Dums. I produced that whole record. That's a single. That's another independent wax. These are all on vinyl. Most of them are on vinyl, except for like the Gemini, the gifted one. But the one with John Forte on the one with Misery's on wax. Oh, El Battalion, that's on wax too. I did their A side, and that's on my that show. I think we got a show where I posted the show too, where they performed the song, and Mop Tops actually executive produced that record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was love, because that was like the community working together. You know?
Right.
Yeah, that was love. That was really dope. I mean, my name's not on it, but you know, they all know I did it.
Right.
Besides production, what's been keeping DJ Itruth busy?
DJing, producing. I run an eBay store where I sell records and clothes. So you know, that's what I do on the down. It's really nice right now, boy. The eBay store is popping. So if you need any vintage clothing, sneakers, records, I do that. I sell that stuff too. You know. Yeah, and it's what's crazy is that it keeps me open for selling other stuff, you know. So I know how to like ship and you know, I'm prompt with shipping, and you know, my customer service skills are extraordinary, you know.
Nice. Yeah, talk a little bit about the kicks and snares that you were doing.
So Kicks and Snares started off as a beat showcase, and I started that with Pushing Buttons Collective. That was a collective I started with. John Robinson and Pays Infinite, and We decided, we had a little falling out, so we decided to go our own ways. So one of the names for a showcase was Kicks and Snares that I brought to the table. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just use Kicks and Snares for my YouTube channel. And
Right.
it started off as me putting up shows like beat showcases, and then it morphed into like tutorials, like me fixing uh random music stuff around my studio. And then it morphed into me making beats live, and sometimes DJing, and just, and now like vlogging, going digging, and just recording my whole day digging from one spot to the next, cleaning the records, sampling the record, making a beat off the record, and then putting the record out. So doing the whole thing and doing that whole routine, and it's very therapeutic, because once I started doing that, I started seeing like, oh, okay, so now I'm on a roll. I can release these joints and have a catalog and build a catalog. So now what I'm doing is, I bought a couple of keyboards. I play a little, but I've been doing a little bit more original stuff that I want to put on music library sites for bed music, for background music, and
Yeah.
you know I've also been working with some artists though. I just opened up for the Locks in Irving Plaza like a month ago, and
Okay.
that was pretty dope. But I've been working with this brother named Yazid Divine, and he's really dope. Y'all gonna really like him. He's really dope. And as of recent, I've been working also with East Coast, and this other brother called Weirdos Philippe.
Okay.
Yeah, Weirdos Philippe does more like trap music. So I dibble and dabble with dance music and trap music too. So I just don't try to do like one style of music and stay in one box. I just do what feels natural.
Right. That's dope, man. That's dope. So when you saying you opened up for the Locks, though, that was with
With
the other
Yazid,
artist?
well, I was DJing, and Yazid is
Okay.
he's an artist I've been working with for like the past year now. He's a friend of mine for about maybe 15 years, but we had just bumped into each other about 2 years ago and started working real tough again about a year ago. And ever since we started working together, like shows been falling into place, like, and everything's like, I'm like, oh wow, we have a good synergy. And the music is really dope. We just shot a video for one of the songs he's gonna be releasing as a single, called Box Cutter. And yeah, it's a little throwback. I like using samples that from the 90s that have been used, but chopping them so that you recognize them, so
Right.
there's like some sort of reference. So at this time and age, we all know like how the music listening is really, it depends on the individual, and certain vibrations our generation don't mess with.
Right.
Some of our generation are just stubborn, and they like, nah, I got my 90s, and duly noted, because
Yeah.
there's people like that when we were young that were like, yo, I just listen to doo-wop.
Right.
I just stick to doo-wop, you know what I'm saying? And then there's other cats that like, yo, I just listen to R&B. And that, and I respect that. But in order to, if you want to hear music never stops. It's like math. It just keeps going and going, like it's crazy, because I collect records, but it's really nice. somebody asked me yesterday, my boy Alan, Dr. Lay, he just asked me, yo, is there any particular record you I'm like, not really. Only like stuff that I miss. Like I just copped this today, right? This is Portishead live.
Okay.
You know, if you know what Portishead is, you know this is fuego.
That's right.
You know, fuego, boy. What this is crack right here. And this is Portishead live in Roseland.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you know, like the thing is like, you know, it's a time and a place for everything. So, you know, I just try to be prepared and have fun with making music. And sometimes like I haven't made I haven't really sat down on and made a beat in like a minute, man. I haven't really been inspired to even post a video. I'll be honest with you, sometimes it just gets boring, you know. It's like, damn, what are we doing this for popularity? You know, it's like, but now, you know, after speaking to some people, you know, when I go thrifting, you know, I bump into people and I meet people, and you know, I had a conversation just today about this one guy. He does fashion. He's got like a fashion vlog on YouTube, and fashion is, you know, like, depending on what you like, it's popping. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, but he you know, I don't know who do you guys know who Rick Owens is?
Nah,
You know who Rick Owens? No?
No.
You know who Rick Owens is, right? Sincere?
Yeah.
All right. So, you know, Rick Owens, you know, he's popping right now. And you know, there's this one, he's on his page, right? This guy I was talking to, he showed me a picture of this dude wearing like a dress. A dude, he was wearing a dress.
Okay.
It looks like a dress. Yo, he got 120,000 views on Instagram, and then like a whole bunch of people leaving crazy comments, and like 3,000 comments, right? So now, because he put something that was kind of crazy out there, he reached out to Instagram to monetize his channel, and they accepted his application. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like what I'm doing, there's nothing that crazy to talk about. And I don't like, I can't be, you know, I look at other content creators and I'm like, damn, am I going to talk about the same boring gear as them? They're already doing that. And unless I have like an epiphany where it's something interesting, you know, I don't know if I'm going to keep posting stuff. Like I may or may not, but right now I'm not inspired. You know, it's just there's no movement in the movement. You know,
Right.
there's really no. I don't know. You know, y'all, what y'all listening to now? Y'all up on Dave East?
Yeah.
Say,
Y'all seen his new stuff? He dropped 2 videos today. Y'all know that?
Really? Nah. I haven't had time to check nothing out today, man. But being sincere, kind of talk about this all the time as far as, you know, music wise, and you know, being inspired. Like every time somebody drops an album, right? Like Busta just came out with one, AZ just dropped. And I don't know, bro. It's like tough to find something that gives you that I guess, you know, that feeling, right? You know what I mean? That goosebump. But the thing too is that, like, even when cats drop an album, like we, you know, talk about Nas, you know, he comes out, drops an album, it might have some dope tracks on it, but dude, it comes and goes so fast these days that it's like you don't even get a chance to enjoy it.
Yeah, you don't. Really. You don't even get like a quarter. Like, you know how there's 4 quarters in a year. Right. No, you don't even get a quarter. No, you get a week to digest that.
That's it. And it's like, you know, it's kind of it makes us, I don't know, it makes me feel the way I guess you kind of feel, you know, Truth, that you're just kind of like, whatever, man. Like there's nothing really inspiring or pushing you to be like, yo, did you hear that? Sincere, yo, did you check that out? You know, like there's really not much.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm always excited when I'm working with like Yazzie though. He inspires me because you know he's a dope artist. You know, I introduced him to Curious.
Okay.
Oh well, I introduced it to somebody else that knows Curious. But the point is that when Curious heard how he spits, he put him on his last project. And he's about to then Curious just reached out to him to put him on the next project. And and Curious's label was hollering at him too. I'm like, wow, okay.
Nice. Okay.
But yo, look out for Yazzie. He got like 2 albums with low key. He got like 2 albums with Kool Keith, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kool Keith called him like the new Godfather Don. So yeah.
Gonna look him up.
Yazzie Divine. Remember that name.
What's next for DJ Itruth?
Well, I'll be dropping a few music videos, cutting and editing, and next year I'll be releasing a graffiti film and a hip hop documentary. So the graffiti film is almost done, and the graffiti film is just a day in the life with me. You know Jassoon?
Yep.
Yeah. We had him on.
Jassoon and my man OJ the writer. So us three, we went out to this haunted asylum in Long Island, and we went bombing in there, and I brought a camera, and it's gonna be funny. It's really good. It's really good. So yeah, it came out really nice. So yeah, it's coming out. But yeah, that's first. And you know, I'll be DJing spot dates. I'll be posting it on my site, you know, just follow me on there. And I'll be releasing more music next year. I'm just finishing up a Weirdos Philippe project right now. That project I'm really like because it's like I'm doing like soulful trap and like soulful electronic. I like electro kind of like beats as well. So I started dibbling in that, but soulful, you know, when you got feeling. And I want to compare it to what's that like Joe Jackson meets S.O.S. You know, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
It's like that. It's ill. Nice. It's that electro sounds, but with that dope, deep soul. That kind of stuff.
For people who need to keep up with you, where can they check you out on social media?
At DJ Itruth, and at Kicks and Snares on YouTube, Kicks and Snares, and DJ Itruth as well. Go check out some of the videos. Hit subscribe, like. You know what it is. Cling.
Yeah, real quick, man. I just want to say, you know, when you were saying as far as being inspired and doing stuff, you know, I've told you this before, and I'm gonna say it again now that we're on here. But I bumped into you one time at a summer stage joint, and this is around the time like I was sort of doing, you know, interviews and stuff like that. I think I might have stopped. And you told me, you said, yo, bro, keep going. You never know, just keep doing it. And every time I get into a little funk where it's just like, yo, what the heck? I always think of that, and it's what keeps me going, bro.
Oh, that's what's
so
up.
I kind of want to give that back to you because you have a lot of stuff that you do and that you're interested in that even if you don't think, other people would like to see, you know what I mean, and will appreciate. I know it's like what you said, it's like, what are we doing this for? Sometimes it's hard to try to figure out how to monetize what we do and everything, but you know, at the end of the day, man, if you're still doing what you love, man, and putting it out for others to enjoy and appreciate, You know what I mean? Hopefully, keep doing it, man, because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I enjoy all your stuff.
I good looking.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate it. And I know Sincere now, you know, because like I said, Sincere is a huge collector, man. He's into collecting all that stuff. And I'm sure now that you said you do the vintage thing and everything like that, he probably will check it out. And, you know, just do you, man. Just do you. Do you.
Yeah, no
You know
doubt.
what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah.
But, yeah, no, thank you, bro. Listen, like I said, this is your home, your platform. Anytime you got anything you're putting out or you want us to help, you know, push it out there, let us know. We'll post it up on our pages as well, man. And
Thank
you
you,
know what it is, man. Family. Thanks you for taking the time.
No
But
doubt.
keep doing it, man. Don't stop, man. And hold on to those gems you got there, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on to them pictures, man.
Yeah.
Once again, bro.
Opportunity.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Stay good, man. Stay healthy.
No doubt.
All right, we'll connect.
All right, cool.